I thought for this week I would show something that's simple enough for just about anyone to do. I was definitely inspired by Pinterest this week. I saw something similar to this wall clock and decided to recreate it for under $20. I tweaked the project some here and there to make it a little easier to DIY, so let's get started. You'll need a foam board. I got one for $1 at the dollar store, a hot glue gun that I already had, a ruler, scissors, X-Acto knife, and pencil, plastic spoons. I also got these from the dollar store, so I ended up using about 4 packs of spoons, a wall clock that I found at Target for $4.99, and some spray paint. I bought 2 cans because I couldn't find this color in a bigger can. Each were priced at $3.99. First, start out by cutting the spoons at the neck. After doing this for a while, you'll find a sweet spot and they'll get easier to cut. If your clock has a back that you can remove, go ahead and do that for now. If not, you'll have to cover and tape off the face of the clock. I did this a little prematurely and spray painted both the casing of the clock and the entire board. I would suggest to do the next step first and then spray paint them. For this next step, take the casing and lay it face down on the foam board and trace a circle of the inside of the casing. Then take the X-Acto knife and lightly cut the circle that you just traced. Then with the X-Acto knife again, make a cut all the way through the board. When you're making this second cut, just make sure that there's nothing underneath that you're cutting through. Once you're done, it should easily separate from the board. Next, lay out the spoons to get an idea of how far you want to come out from the circle that you cut. I ended up with 3.5 inches and measured that all the way around the circle. Now you can take your X-Acto knife again and cut it the same way before, using your marks as a guideline for the circle. After cutting the board out, you can spray paint it. Again, I did this backwards and put the clock back together when I really didn't have to at this point. For the next step, with your hot glue gun, make a line of hot glue around the inner edge of the circle. Lay your clock face up and line the foam board with the face of the clock and secure it into place. Next, line up your plastic spoons to make sure they all fit into the right place. Then start gluing them down. Just put a dab of glue onto the back of the spoon and then press it down into place. Then with your next layer, place them in between 2 spoons of the first layer and then glue them down. Continue alternating layers until you fill your space. You don't have to use white spoons. I just used white because that's all I could find with just an all-spoon package at the dollar store. If you find something in a color that you like, this would eliminate the spray paint. With the 3.5 inch space that I had, I ended up with 5 rows of spoons. After the last layer is glued on, let it dry for a bit to make sure they stay in place. I ended up taking the face of the clock out again so that it would be much easier to spray paint the spoons. Now that all the spoons are in place, it's time to spray paint. Just make sure that you're in a well-ventilated area. When you're spray painting, make sure that you do this in thin layers if you need to, and make sure that you get in between the layer of spoons and the back of the spoons. Once the spoons were dry, I put the clock back into place. You can also skip the gluing down of the clock until you have the spoons on and spray painted if you don't have a clock that can be taken apart. And you're done. Thanks so much for watching my newest video. If you liked it, let me know. Check back soon for another video, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Facebook and Instagram. See you again soon. Bye!